Memes and Neoliberal State. This presentation briefly reflects the multifaceted role of memes in contemporary society, particularly within the context of neoliberal state. Our group members include Ankit Bhardwaj, Ankit Verma, Anima Dwivedi, Lakshmi Madan, and Rashi Agarwal. Memes have emerged as a powerful form of communication. These humorous, often satirical images, videos, or text get rapidly spread through internet, shaping culture and influencing political, economic, and social discourses. They've become a crucial part of digital culture and public discourse. When looked at with Michel Foucault's ideas about state power and governmentality, memes serve as a tool to critique or support government policies, contributing to the technologically mediated relationship between state and its citizens, often reflecting biopolitical issues. Memes are often as tools for political commentary and critique. In context of neoliberal state, they can challenge policies that promote deregulation, privatization, and limited government intervention, or they can support these policies. In this sense, they become a means for citizens to engage in political discourse, often with humor and satire, thereby providing a simplified, creative, and relatable means to communicate complex topics. Memes are not simply passive content to be consumed, but are actively created, modified, and shared by individuals. This participatory nature reflects the fundamental shift in the way we engage with and create culture in digital age. Memes can both challenge and reinforce neoliberal ideologies, either by critiquing economic inequalities or by perpetuating them. In a neoliberal state, memes can either critique or reinforce these cultural norms. In this sense, the relationship between memes and neoliberalism is paradoxical. They provide a lens through which we can analyze the dynamics of power, politics, and popular culture in digital age. They serve as a mirror to culture, reflecting prevailing norms, values, and trends. They often draw from popular culture, historical events, and societal issues. Further, the relationship between little media and major media is in meme production and dissemination also influences the dynamics of digital culture and public discourse. In this situation, the visual literacy skills become questionable as memes require a nuanced understanding of images and their working, as they can convey complex ideas and ideologies as well as cultural nuances. Overall, memes are not only an integral part of contemporary culture but also play a significant role within neoliberal state. They reflect, critique and sometimes reinforce cultural and economic values associated with neoliberalism. They are a crucial element of the participatory culture that characterizes the digital age. As we navigate this complex digital landscape, memes serve as both a reflection and a critique of our culture as well as political and economic ideologies. Understanding this relationship is vital in analyzing how memes contribute to discourses surrounding neoliberalism and its impact on the society. Many such related concepts will be reflected upon as we move forward in the presentation.
My name is Ankit Bhardwaj, and I will briefly try to investigate how memes are generated, enjoyed, and popularized in India, and then study the form of a meme and also understand as to what makes a meme relevant. Focusing on my title, Ye Big Gaya Hai Government, which is in Hindi and can be translated to This Government is Sold, is one of the most popular and shared meme as well as the most reused template since its first occurrence in 2017. Not only did it create a remarkable internet sensation in India, it also reached to the US social media and their news channels. The original video from which this meme was taken can be traced back to an interview of a Pakistani woman for a news channel who was delivering an explicit laden polemic against the Pakistani government. The popularity of the meme also kept increasing years post its released. For example, the original video got its own rap song mashup, and the meme even got its own line of merchandise as well. And the template was printed on mugs, stickers, posters, etc. It even led to Irfan Khan imitating her in a video from an Indian comedy troupe called All India Bakchod. Again, if we look at the meme at the center, the infamous auntie's face is mapped onto the iconic photograph of Marxist revolutionary Che Guevara, which was taken by Alberto Corda, and the photograph was later popularized in various forms, but mostly against the red background and the words revolution underneath. The same form was used by the famous YouTube creators AIB, who posted this meme on their Twitter handle with words revolution exchanged with ye big gaya hai government. Thus, we can see that the study of memes in India becomes an interesting investigation into tapping the constant social commentary on cultural and political events that is happening throughout the consumption and production of memes, which has become the perfect mode of shorthand language for the millennial TLDR generation. Not only is it extremely easy to circulate the memes through various social media platforms like Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, etc., but it is also extremely easy to create these memes as meme generator websites offer set templates and text layout boxes with which one can create memes in seconds. Along with that, there are now websites like Know Your Meme and Memebase that documents detailed insights and research into the origin story of each meme and function as archives. The ease of production and consumption and popularity of memes makes us wonder how they manage to capture brief moments in the public eye and turn them into long lasting, reoccurring themes into our cultural memory through various social commentaries. Limor Schiffman, in her book Memes in Digital Culture, states that the meme functions on core principles of copying and imitation, which helps represent the participatory culture where the end users and generators come from. Memes diffuse from person to person, but shape and reflect general social mindsets. Thus, internet memes can be treated as modern or postmodern folklore in which shared norms and values are constructed through cultural artifacts such as photoshopped images or urban legends. Furthermore, the act of participatory culture is also one of the concepts that sets it apart from other visual mediums of social commentary, such as the political cartoon. Unlike a political cartoon, memes not only presents a diffused visual that brings together pop culture, politics, social commentary, but also the easily authored platform enables much larger dialogue than political cartoons. Thus, the successful meme becomes popular not only because it is relatable or witty, but because of its simple visuals and decipherable content, which presents a social dialogue with ease. And instead of an intellectual discourse of one individual that is often attached with political cartooning, it gives the impression of a funny quip on cultural politics, which taps on a shared collective sentiment rather than ideas of a single person. This makes memes a sensitive yet effective instrument of political mobilization. This also explains the sprouting of IT cells in nearly every political group. And because of its highly connotative and visual suggestive content, it is difficult to censor it. As Anastasia Bartazzoli in her seminal book Internet Memes and Society highlights, memes are strong in overcoming censorship due to the allegorical style of expression and ambiguity of the commentary that they carry. And in order to read a meme, members of the audience often have to be aware of the broader political context and be familiar with the format of internet communication. Thus, the characteristic of memes as in jokes has further advanced their exploitation for political deliberation in restricted media environments, and as the examples in Russia and China prove so.
Hello everyone. Today I'll be talking about shaping narratives in the digital age through the power of memes. For that, we'll be looking into an X, formerly known as Twitter account, known as Dharmic Memes for Hindu Teens. Before we get into the memes, I would like to give a little background about what the account is really about. As the name suggests, Dharmic Memes for Hindu Teens is an account meant to propagate dharmic values to the impressionable Hindu youth. It was started back in 2018 by two brothers from Madhya Pradesh who now live in Haryana. The account has 22.1k followers and was well received in the right wing media ecosystem. In an interview given to OP India in 2018, the brothers say they tried different ways to capture the attention of Hindu youth but failed to do so. And they realized that the power of visual anthropology or the visual means was really able to draw the attention of the youth. And they came up with this idea of starting a meme page, and that's how it started. The account uses mythological texts, inscriptions, different stories, and tries to tell a story of sort. But how much is it actually about educating the youth about mythology, and how much of it is meant to propagate the ideology of Hindutva, which is vastly different from how the religion is? So we'll be looking into that through the memes. So on the screen here you can see two memes. On the left there is a meme about a sage and his son, where the sage is discouraging the son who has taken the role of a student, and the sage is in the role of a teacher, saying how anyone who moves away from the dominant readings of mythological texts is woke and should be rightly discouraged. This is of course an interesting way to look at it, where anyone, including here the example of Nasiruddin Shah, is given as someone who influences youth away from dharma and takes them away from the original meaning of what the dharmic texts are. You can see clear demarcation in the terms of background, where the person who is learned is with the saffron background, and the person who is disillusioned and has to put on a correct way is in the background of a blue. It's a recurring meme template all throughout their work. On the right side, you can see a story from, of course, Mahabharata, with Dhritarashtra and Sanjay here in the picture of the meme. Uh, the idea here is that who should and should not be commenting on religious matters, here in question of Ram Mandir, of course. Uh, and it should definitely not be the opposition parties, as the memers say. In an interview with the OP India in 2018, these two brothers mention how dharma right now in its current state has reached a saturation point and is like an elastic band, and it cannot go further ahead, and the only way ahead is for it to go back to its original state. This idea of going back to the state and restoration is the core of these values, which are used as a political tool to further the hatred of the ideology. And other than that, when they were asked about the kind of political parties that they support, they mentioned how there is a fight going on between Devs and Asuras, and right now Devas are in the power. Next slide. How do these memes extend beyond the given template before? They also provide running commentary on the politics. So of course here is a meme on the left which is talking about the language of Jaya Bachchan from a parliamentary debate, and talks about how her curse is bigger than some of the sages who get angry. On the second slide, on the second meme that you can see on the right, there is of course the occasion of birth anniversary of Jawaharlal Nehru, and the obvious distaste for Jawaharlal Nehru has been painted as somebody who is Dhritarashtra like, who is weak, ignorant, and still in power. Next slide. And that brings us to this another meme right now on the left side, which is about the boycott culture of, and Zomato is in question right now here. It's interesting to look at the gender dynamic in the play here, with the picture of Suparnakha, whose nose has been cut, is bleeding red like the brand logo of Zomato. On the right side, you can see a geopolitical meme of sort, which uses, of course, the context of Ramayana and places into the India-Pakistan war, where the memer here takes the supercilious position and places themselves in a higher position of moral value. Next. So, how does this board in a neoliberal democracy? Uh, the first thing here is to look at the marketization of the ideas. In a neoliberal democracy, ideas and ideologies are treated as commodities that can be marketed and consumed. The Twitter account here uses Hindutva ideologies to a young audience. It is a part of a broader trend where political ideologies are presented as consumer products, which Anima will be talking about. Privatization of culture. Neoliberalism often leads to the privatization of cultural and social values. Dharmic memes for Hindu teens privatizes the interpretation of Hinduism and Dharma, presenting a particular ideological perspective that argues an alliance with the pro-Hindu BJP government. Other than that, we have the idea of cultural hegemony, which brings us to the dominating ideology, which leads to the normalization of beliefs, demonization of certain groups, creating a further divide, of course, with the youth as the center, who are very much impressionable. And that's what gives us the idea how the construction of narratives take place with the memes. Thank you.
I will be looking at girl math, and I will be analyzing it from the aspect of gender expenditure and connecting it to the concept of neoliberalism and democracy. So now let's look at what is girl math. Girl math or boy math are slang terms referring to a series of jokes that were popularized on TikTok and Twitter in the summer of 2023, and how women and men fudge or misvalue certain goods as statistics, such as women use wonky math to justify a purchase, or men overstating their height through myriad caveats. So this was sort of like a following piece after another trend called girl dinner, which again is a very interesting trend where women talk about the kind of foods they consume which do not involve cooking. So this trend was also interesting because this is again a subversion of the idea of women belong in kitchen, so basically subverting patriarchy. But we will not be getting into that right now due to lack of time. Now there were these uh, I'm just gonna read it out. Girl Math is not paying $15 for shipping, instead just spending another $30 to get the free shipping. And like similar very confessional tweets on, and it's also very popular on Reddit. So is girl math equal to poor understanding of finances? No. Is it absolute subjugation to hyperconsumerism? Yes. Reclaiming the stereotype of women being poor with numbers. So, here the idea that women are actively choosing to talk about the poor financial choices they make actively is, in a way, reclaiming this idea that women are bad at finances. They are coming out, they're saying that no, we're doing it on purpose, we know what we're doing, but we choose to do it anyway. So, what does girl math tell us about neoliberal democracy? So, girl math works in correspondence with the neoliberal state as it normalizes and naturalizes the idea of spending beyond one's means. And it also, the self-aware confessions, they create a false sense of autonomy in the consumers, which falls in alignment with the freedom that a democracy would give. So the whole idea that I choose to spend my money beyond my means, but the choice in, is it really a choice, or is it just the construct of capital, the kind of things that capitalism has constructed around us, which sort of dictate our life choices. But when we look at girl math and boy math, there is this incongruence. Uh, Girl math is usually about making poor financial choices, while boy math is usually uh, just being misogynistic, or like those kind of things. So the question is, do men not make poor financial choices, unreasonable purchases? My speculation is that girl math does in fact transcend the idea of gender, because I feel like when men's poor financial choices are to be taken into account, it mostly relates with larger numbers, not getting free shipping, And it also talks about virtual currency, stock market, NFTs, bitcoins, and those kind of things. So, girl math basically represents a larger section of society which is plagued by this idea of instant gratification and retail therapy. The girl here is simply a flag bearer of a phenomena which is very human, and that's my part. Thank you.
In my part of the presentation, I will be talking about the new term called authoritative neoliberalism. From the meme itself, it is clear that I will be talking about Narendra Modi. The meme is taken from the stand up show of Varun Grover during 2019 itself. In this particular meme, he made two Tinder profiles of Narendra Modi, and all the details that's given in the profile is of his election campaign, of what he promised that he will do after he come to power. In the first part of the meme, it is apparent that he promised 1 crore jobs to people and 15 lakhs to each and every one, which never happened. And apart from all the useless things that he also said he would do, it resulted it resulted in his rising popularity so much so that in 2019 he didn't have to promise anything because there was no other option. Hence, it is clear that how Narendra Modi became a populist figure and which dictated his rise to power. Now, during his 2019 campaign, he also tried to make sure that he adheres to authoritative neoliberalism in a way that he introduced three bills which was related to the land rights and farmers, and it resulted into a huge protest which went on for months and months, and it disrupted the state, uh, which is not what neoliberalism actually means. There has been a widespread hate propagation under his under his leadership, which is not supposed to happen. Now, this particular meme resulted in Varun Grover getting many death threats, and the many charges and cases were also filed against him, and he had to stop his show for a while because the venues were constantly getting destroyed, and uh, people used to come and make sure that nobody attended his shows, which shows how, despite being a democracy, how our state is turning into an electoral autocracy, which was also said by the democracy report in 2021 by conducted by the University of Gothenburg. So, to sum up my points, what I wanted to convey through this was the idea of neoliberalism is not just the free flow of capital for the state so that the state has a good market and business opportunities, but it's a transformative action where it helps the state rather than the state being damaged by it in a sense, right? And Narendra Modi has always been a Hindu chauvinistic figure, which has always resulted uh, which has always resulted in bullying, especially against academicians, students, journalists, minorities, especially the Muslim minorities. So it has become a very chaotic situation, and so that is why the term authoritative neoliberalism is much more suited for it.
Hello everyone. Today I will be dealing with the topic meme and economics. Memeonomics. So, in the contemporary scenario, it is being observed that memes have come to hold center stage when it comes to the dissemination of information. This title is a personal wordplay on the same. Through this, we will be seeing how economic boom has been the cause and effect because of the sensational pop artist Taylor Swift. Here, we'll be dealing with a particular aspect as mentioned before, which is Swiftonomics. So, by Swiftonomics, what is meant is a pop cultural sensational artist such as herself, Taylor Swift. She has her presence in a particular city has immensely affected the boost of the city's economic um, revenue generation, not only by just the sales of her tickets, but also by the sales of the personalized merchant line, the hotel books, bookings, the events, the what do you say, like the hotels in a specific area where the tour is being held. They have started to pop on upon this hype of Taylor Swift, and they have curated special menus for the fan bases in order to attract more customers. So this effect, like a person who is coming up with a tour of a reach of Taylor Swift, she has a ripple effect in the whole of economy just by bringing her concert to a particular place. So this is where we begin with the Swiftonomics. So in this slide, we can see that there are particularly two memes sort. So the first picture that's on my left says that how Taylor Swift carried the economy with Swiftonomics, and in the picture that comes right beneath it, Taylor Swift is seen to be carrying her kitten, and that kitten is tagged as the economy. So by this, and on the right side, the image that shows Swiftonomics when emotion meets capitalism, and there are some stats that being pointed out to her presence and her impact in the economy. So this is a, what do you say, this is a product, a result of very careful choices that's been, mindful business choices that's been made by Taylor Swift herself, which has resulted in this huge economic booming. So the way that her fans, they have actually been the, the inevitable part of this economic boom by contributing to it, by subscribing to it. In this slide, we see that this is one of the affectation of how a Swiftie, who is basically a Taylor Swift fan, how one harmless, one casual, a post from that person has resulted in a very much of an, ripple effect that has been so inscribed into the economy that huge retail chains, huge marketing chains, they have taken up on this quote, and they've popped up on the hype in order to gain from this whole hype situation. So in this slide, in this picture, we see that there is this particular person who was seen to be at the what a Chief Jets match, and they have they got a precious moment with Taylor Swift, and they've just posted it saying that Taylor Swift was seen eating a piece of chicken with ketchup and seemingly ranch, and immediately the internet went berserk for this image. So what happened was, in the coming slides, we can see that huge, marketing agencies such as McDonald's, the dictionary, and there's this an eatery kind of sorts, Mrs. Smith. So these have, they have just imbibed this whole thing. So for McDonald's, they, they they prescribed into this so-called media rage, and they popped up a deal, okay, a limited edition deal of salts, and they said the deal is as it goes, seemingly ranch, definitely McNuggets. So this all comes as a, as a effect of that one caption. Taylor Swift is seen as to be eating chicken with ketchup and seemingly ranch, and the Merriam-Webster, the dictionary website, they also chimed into the same thing by adding a definition of ranch dressing by using the seemingly word. In the next slide, we can see that the fast food chain, which is Arby's, have also have their own rendition, and they even joined in the joke by putting out a picture from their own Instagram handle and Twitter handle as well. So this image is from the Twitter handle. Even the Walmart did not, hold back on this. So they put up actually they actually put up a seemingly ranch aisle board in order to provide for their contribution. Well, if we thought that that was just the end of things and that was it, well, we are in for a grand reveal. So even the Empire State Building, they even took this seemingly ranch joke that was casually passed around, and in honor of hopping up hopping into this trend, um, apparently they lit up a few of their floors, as in the uppermost floor was lit up in white light, and just lower that it was lit up in red light, complementing the colors of ketchup and seemingly ranch. And hence, for that matter, they recently announced that they will be providing like limited edition combination of ketchup and seemingly ranch as a commercialized product in reality, even though the previous things did not much translate as physical manifestations, but this is so. By all this we can see how Taylor Swift as a person is contributing a huge chunk of revenue generation, knowingly or unknowingly, just by existing. So here, what we find is the emotions of the people have been cleverly capitalized by, you know, these so-called business sharks who are like everyday hawking for an opportunity. So as the opportunity presented itself as a very harmless, very simple of a happy fan sharing their emotion or sharing their their fangirl moment or something, that was extrapolated and heavily exploited by people as such, so much so that it became a huge sensation which translated into physical manifestations such as these products and all of these things. So by this we understand how a person can have an impact on the economy and have autonomy over it, more or less, in some sense.